Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dharma friends, and as you know, we are in a journey in this samsara. So, from here, in this very moment, in this very center, we are moving to four directions. So, today we're going to analyze that. So, that four directions are like this. There are some people already in darkness. And in the Buddha mentioned, Tamo Tama Parayana Sutta, there are some people already in darkness. That darkness means pain, unhappiness, worry, sad, that kind of situations. So that arise because of in the previous lives, we had the greed, hatred, and the delusion, and we used to share it with others and make other people greedy, hatred, angry, envy, jealousy, so like that. And as a result of that, we again came to this darkness. So that is one point. Another one, from this point, from this darkness, there are some people go to again in the future to more darkness. So that means if you suffering because of your greed, hatred, and the delusion when you had it was in your previous life. So if you today and try to again develop the greed, hatred, and the delusion with the envy, anger, jealousy towards other people, then remember, again you go from this darkness to more darkness. And also from today, if you recognize in the previous lives you had this greed, hatred, and the delusion, and then the jealousy, hatred, anger, envy. So because of that, you have this life today, and recognizing that if you change your pattern to loving kindness, generosity, compassion, empathy, so like that, if you turn it to opposite side, remember, from this darkness, tomorrow you go to light. Tamo, the first one is called Tamo Tama Parayana, from darkness to darkness, travel. Tamo Jyoti Parayana, that means from darkness to, there are some people travel to light. So what is the darkness means? Very suffering that wherever we are. And also, Jyoti Tamo Parayana, that there are some people in light already. You have everything, you have very comfortable life, and materially you are successful, you have good health, and all the blessings in this moment you have. As a result of in the previous lives, you have done good things. That's why you have this all. But today, you have the jealousy, envy, anger regarding other people. And then as a result of that, what will happen in the future, you're not going to have this comfortable life. You're going to have the darkness. You're going to go to the difficulties. So it is your choice today. So then be very careful with the condition of your mind and what you think and what you do with your mind, with your bodily, verbally, or mentally action. Because even though you are today have very comfortable life, even though you are in light today, and tomorrow you can go to darkness. And also there are some other people, Jyoti Jyoti Parayano, that means from light to, they go to light. what kind of people they are. So as a result of their previous good action, meritorious actions, and they have this all the good facilities today, good health, longevity, complexion, strength, and uh, the wisdom, and this all the material facilities. It because in the past lives you have done something good. Otherwise, why everyone cannot get this like you have? Because you have done something good. So then, recognizing that if you perform more loving kindness, generosity, compassion, empathy, so that way you're going to go to light tomorrow. So this is recognizing this pattern is itself the wisdom. So then remember yourself. So wherever you are in this very moment, you have power to change your life. The thing is this, and sometimes when one person in darkness, that person become like a black hole. What is very nature? It has power to suck all the light towards it and bring it to darkness. And there are some families, maybe the husband generous, wife greedy. And some families, wife generous, husband greedy. He not allow to give anything to anybody. He not allow anyone to perform something good in family. There are people like that. There are some children, they not allow their parents to perform any kind of good activities. There are some parents, they not allow children to perform any good activities. So remember, it doesn't matter you have a marriage life as a husband, wife, or children and friends and family members. In the future, maybe you're not going to be with the same person. And then you have to suffer yourself, and maybe you become greedy because of the other person, your partner, your parents, your children. Don't be like that. Don't carry that someone else's darkness in your heart. Don't allow it to happen. And even it doesn't matter you become divorced and go away yourself, alone yourself, if you rather than living with a greedy, ignorance person. Why? Because that ignorance can take you to and make you ignorance. So remember that it's because once you disappear from this life in this samsaric journey, that person cannot come behind you and help. Even look yourself, you all are matured, and even yourself, how much help that we can get from other people? Nothing. There are in life, when it comes to the real life, we have to deal with ourselves. When you go to sleep, it doesn't matter somebody next to you. The deeper in your heart, if you carry the pain, no one else can come to share that pain. So then yourself, you have to be wise. It doesn't matter whatever the relationship that you carry as a family, as a society, as a country, as a world. So remember yourself to perform your profitable actions. And because of other people, because of the ignorance leader, or because of the ignorance master, or because of the ignorance people around you, because of ignorance best friend, or the ignorance husband, wife, or the ignorance children, because of ignorance parents, because of ignorance tradition, don't allow yourself to go to darkness. So that is very important yourself to understand. Another thing is that always try to help other. If somebody in darkness, if you see that person in darkness, help that person to go to light. That is the best that you can do as a husband, wife, children, friends and family members, brothers, sisters. If somebody in greed, hatred and delusion, if somebody in darkness, if somebody in pain, envy, and holding the grudge, and slowly take them out and bring them to light. How? Through generosity. Slowly, little by little, tell them to share. And you have to share in front of them, and little by little teach them to share. And then they're going to transform. And if you are in light, and be very careful, you are in risk. What is the risk? And because of that light, wherever you are, maybe the very dangerous thing is jealousy can arise. Only we should have this. Others should not have. So like that, this material is not belong to you. So why? Because of this material world, you go to darkness. Why you go to suffering? What is wrong that you have this, and what is wrong somebody else also have the same like you? So then always remember to release the light and allow others to go towards the light. And that way what will happen? You will not go to darkness. So then if you are in the light, start to help others, bring them up rather than pushing them down. Look at the entire world, as countries sometimes, as generations, as nations, as traditions, as religions, as cultures, as cult, as organized groups. Sometimes we not allow others to become better, same like us. You always try to push them down, and that is where the class come. First class, second class, third class, developing countries, undeveloping countries. So like that. In the large scale, when you look, and mostly whoever in the light, mostly not allow others to come to light. And it is very rare whoever in the light share their light with others and help others to genuinely help others to come to the light. So then yourself, remember, you are in the light. That's why you experiencing, that's why you hearing this. If you are in darkness, you not hear this. So then your responsibility, share that light. The light become more powerful when it share with others, not it when it hide yourself. The same like the happiness. When your happiness, when you share it with others, when other people also become happy around you, and they also get into that happiness, that is where it become powerful. And when it comes to that, the most important thing that you can share with the world is your wisdom. So what you know, and learn to stand for that wisdom, and don't allow ignorance to overtake the world, overtake the society, overtake your life. Don't allow ignorance to overtake your family life. Don't allow ignorance to overtake your children. It's everywhere like a huge current. It is stronger than you think. So that's why you need the awareness. That's why you need the wisdom. That's why you need the light to go, even to attain to Nibbana, or even go in this samsara. You need the light because it is so dark. Look at even in this 2020, in the middle of this 21st centuries, what we experiencing. As a world, as in this material world, what else we need? But still, as human beings, why we cannot share the light with everybody? Because it's not going to happen. That is the very nature of the world. But we have our responsibility as much as you can. Just do your best. Rather than putting fingers to others, pointing out your fingers to others, just do your best as a family, as a partner, as a husband, wife, children, friends, as neighbors. Just do your best. And that way it will help to transform. And maybe it is difficult. It is not easy. Why? Because the things around us and carry the more darkness. And maybe, but the beauty of the light is when the darkness becomes strong, the light also becomes so shine. So then don't afraid. Don't afraid, Paula. It doesn't matter how dark it is. There is no way it can overtake the light. And so then yourself, the wisdom means you carry the light, you representing the light. So then stand for that. Be active for that. Implement that, use your wisdom every day. Implementation. Use it. And that way you will see it start to shine again and again, more and more and more and more. And just think it is not only for you. So with that, I'm going to tell you a story from the history. So there was a king in India called Vikramaditya. And this king had a beautiful daughter, so wise. And her name was Vidyottama. So the Vidyottama always talk very wise things. And around the king, there was advisors, ministers, and they had a very hard time because of this wise princess, Vidyottama. And then what happened? Why? Because when they make mistakes, if they say some ignorance things, so if this Vidyottama, this princess, come forward and then blame to them. So this all the advisors around the king was little bit disappointed, angry about her attitude. And then what they thought, they was looking for a way to get the revenge. And then one day, group of these advisors going through a village, they saw some unusual thing. There was a very handsome young boy sitting on a branch and cutting the same branch. And they thought, what a foolish idea this. Sitting on a branch and cutting that same branch. And they thought, oh, this is the guy we should marry to the Vidyottama, that princess, because she so proud about her knowledge, and this is a foolish guy, and this is the gift that we should give to her as a revenge, as a punishment. Because why? She giving us hard time. So then what they did, they went to this guy and then start to have a conversation with him. And this guy named called Kalidasa. So this Kalidasa, and they told that about their idea, you're going to marry the princess. What do you think? And he was so happy to do that. But with the one condition, you're going to go to see the princess and don't talk anything. Just allow us to communicate for you. So then he agreed to that. And then the advisors went to king and told, this is the right time for your daughter to marry. So the king also, because king always listen to advisors, king thought, yeah, that's good. And is there anybody? The princess told always, I always marry somebody wiser than me. So that was her condition. So then the king gave the message to her. Then she told, So before that I going to marry this person, I want to test and see if he is wiser than me or not. So the king agreed for that. And now this advisors going to be the interpreter in between the princess and the Kalidasa. So they told to Kalidasa, don't talk anything. Why? Because they knew he's a very foolish guy. And then they brought the Kalidasa to in front of the Vidyottama, the vice princess, and then told he's observing silence for a month to purify himself. And the king was so happy to hear that. And that means he's so wise and he's so religious. And then now they cannot talk, so the advisors going to communicate. And then the princess going to do the test using the sign language. And then the princess came to in front of the Kalidasa and so like this. And the Kalidasa thought she going to hit that she going to hit his eyes with the one finger. So then the Kalidasa told he saw two fingers. And his meaning was, his idea was, if you hit me for my one finger, I going to my one eye, I going to hit to your two eyes. So that was his idea. But the princess Vidyottama showed the finger telling there's only one God. That was her idea. And then when the Kalidasa saw two fingers, the advisors and went to her and told that meaning there is a God and there is a self to experience the God. And she was so happy to hear that. And then she opened her palm and saw the five fingers. And her meaning was the five senses: eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. And the Kalidasa thought that she mentioned that she going to slap him. And the Kalidasa saw like this. And he thinking that his idea was, if you slap me, I going to punch you. And then the wise people went to Vidyottama, the wise princess, and told it meaning is, if you control your five senses with your wisdom, with your consciousness, awareness, you become the master. And she was so happy to hear that. And then she married to him. The one of the Polish guy, see this, the wise princess married to the Polish person. And now they husband, wife, and they having their family life. So one day at night, there was a camel going close by their house. And the sound came, and then the wife asked, what is that? So she was thinking, he will give a very wise answer. And then that he just told, it's a camel. It's a camel. It's a camel. And she was unhappy about the answer. And what she did, she came and threw him out of the house. Knowingly, he saw ignorance. And then he was so disappointed because his wife rejected him. When it come to life, the one of the most painful thing is the human rejection. If the wife or the husband reject by the other person, it is a great pain. So never do that to anybody. Remember that. So then he determined himself to, to become wise. And then he went to school. And he never returned that day. And from that day, she threw him out of the house. And directly he went to the school. And he studied. He studied with the great determination to become wise. And then one day he came and he knocked the door. By hearing the sound, the way he knocked the door, and he introduced, I am Kalidasa. By the way that he introduced himself, she knew he is wise. So that's why for wise people, to understand that the person wise or not, in the ancient time, people had the very great method. Just by listening themselves, they can understand. So somehow, and the Kalidasa was one of the greatest poet in the Sanskrit history, and he was one of the greatest scholar. And from that time to today, in all the Sanskrit literature, in all over the world, in everywhere, all the universities and studies, and most of the people, and get the wisdom out of his poems, literature, books. So the story is, the moral is, if you become wise and you have power to push other people towards light, so then when you carry the light yourself, sometimes it become hard, like the advisors around the king, and they were trying to put this Vidyotama, this princess, in a trouble. But still, if you are wise, if you stand for that, even you get into the difficulties, remember, it has a power to transform that difficulties to light. But the very dangerous thing, if you are in the darkness, you have no power to create a light that with all the dark people. So then it is your responsibility to get into the light and carry the light and stand for the light, and as possible as you can, and try to share that light with others and help others to come out of the greed, hatred, and the delusion. And it is one of the great way that you can share your love, your compassion with others, especially the people around you, whoever love. So with that, I bless upon everyone. With this good practice, may all of you be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbidyo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavattantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata ca ammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sambe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.